1, 2, 3. Don't F with me, the podcast. Yeah!
Don't f with me.
To Don't F With Me, the podcast. I'm your host, Chubby.
And I'm also your host, OG Tega. Don't know?
So let's talk about what we're here for today with our lovely guests. Wonderful guests.
Welcome,
our
guys.
Favorite people. Come on.
You're welcome, guys.
So,
thank you
first
so
of all,
much.
we have the beautiful, the stunning, the darling.
Oh my god.
The darling Sandra.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Sandra. I'm a fashion entrepreneur and I'm a businesswoman.
Okay.
Okpa.
And then next.
Oh God. Where do we even start? Oh my God. Yeah, I go by the name Remy Baggins, aka Rembo, aka Remy the Savage, aka Lord Rembo.
Talk your shit.
I'm a singer, songwriter, music producer, audio engineer, and an independent music label head. Too much. I'm too much.
Let's go. Amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
Amazing. So, what we want to talk about today is about being controlling, about what that's like, what that means. Obviously, this is a forum, a space where we want to discuss, matters of mental health. And I think being controlling is like a theme that features greatly in a lot of those like conversations around mental health, about, conversations about the way we interact with one another. And when I say controlling, I don't even just mean it in the context of a romantic relationship. I mean it in like every aspect.
Yeah.
Like,
Friendships.
Exactly. Like friendships, parents, like
teachers.
Even in your workspace.
Schools, even in your workspace.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to break all of that down. So I think maybe a great place to start, because it's probably one of the most common ones, is like being controlling in the context of a romantic relationship, right?
Yeah.
Can you please explain to me where some people get the audacity, the effrontery,
Come on.
to come inside a relationship and be thinking that you can just be talking to somebody anyhow, treating them as though they are, I don't know.
Your kids.
Please, what is that?
Like your children. Oh my God.
What is that?
I think to be very fair, this is a deep topic that goes way back, as old as man is, right? So like it's time to let's say the man was made to like go and farm, right? Hunt, farm, or like the hard work, and like ladies were supposed to like cook and like be in the kitchen, take care of the kids. This is like Stone Age time.
Ladies are supposed to cook. She said,
Pick your words, man. I'm like, this is Stone Age, so don't come at me. So yeah, this was like a practice that came from, God knows how long, donkey years ago. But now, I think, there's so many things different, changing, technology, like how we interact with each other, like we're a global village, like there's so many things going on now that you just know that things have to change, right? And things have to switch up. Yeah. But then some men, right, are still stuck in that way of
stuck in the Stone Ages.
Supposed to head. They're stuck in the Stone Age of how this is supposed to be. And like we're trying to have like a progressive conversation of how we can move forward from that. How can these older guys learn from it? And how can the new ones coming up understand that this is not the right way to do it in a romantic setting, right? In a romantic relationship.
Yeah, so it happens. And then even a lot of times people don't know that they are controlling. So there was this relationship that
Are you about to shake the table? Are you about to shake the table?
No.
Are you about to shake the table?
Okay, so I was in this relationship, yes, and then from the very beginning, I knew that this guy wasn't exactly my spec, but I liked him, and I didn't know why I liked him. So I just kept asking myself, can this work? And I was like, we can both make it work.
What stage of your life? Like how old?
I didn't think he listened to this.
Because like it might influence on your decision of maybe still.
Were you quite young? Or
No, I wasn't young.
Okay.
I wasn't young. I was really grown. It's not even been very long.
Yeah.
It's not been very long.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of recent. So I just thought we could, make it work. And I just kept thinking I can do the work.
What made you attracted to him?
Please. Please. I just thought he was fine. And it's weird because I usually just don't get attracted to people like that. But I knew his lifestyle was very different from my own. And I'm like, I can put in the work, I can make him dress better, I can make him...
Can you stop trying to figure out who it is? No,
We were not friends. I was just meeting this person, but we're like business partners. So I kept thinking, I can make him dress better, like the things I like, So slowly, while we were talking, I kept, chipping in these things. This is what I like. This is how I want you to look like.
So hints.
Yeah, but then at a point, it seemed like I was doing it too much.
Like you're being controlled.
Yes, and then I would even tell him, if does it look like I'm trying to control you? But like somewhere, he didn't complain, but somewhere in me, I knew that I was starting to control how this person,
Do you think you're
I don't know. But like I could tell that it was getting too much, and
you felt uncomfortable because something in you
just me,
like that
yes,
someone else had been doing
that to me. I would have been.
You might be
because I'm like, you knew who I was.
Yeah.
You saw everything about. So why do you feel like you can come and try to change a couple of things? So people don't even know that they are being controlling. So
because you asked the question now, you said, did he complain? And it almost seems as if he didn't, then it's a bad thing.
It might not be vocally, it can be body language.
Was there any resistance?
Yeah.
So
sometimes he might come home and like he's not like
or did you?
Jonathan, he's not into it. Like,
okay, but I have this question. So if this person doesn't complain vocally or bodily, is it okay? Can you say that this person wants to change and be who you want them to be? John?
I'm saying you can always sense things. Like we all have that instinct that something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you might overshoot and like you might be in the wrong, but the fact that you catch yourself thinking that is it too much is worth you asking and having that conversation. Yes. And if the person says, okay, I'm fine, and then your senses are calm after that, then you can move on. And if your senses still feel like there's something wrong, then I think you should try a different method to get that person to talk. You might not be the very direct, like get them like something that they like, maybe like some gift that they weren't expecting, or maybe like a trip, like just a random thing. Do you understand?
It's
to
almost
kind
like
of break them out of that shell. Put them in their comfort zone.
Because people aren't always, especially if someone is, and this is not to say that you oppress anybody, but especially if someone is maybe the one that is being acted upon in a negative way, like being controlled or being abused or whatever. People aren't always great at self-identifying what they're like going through, or even expressing it and saying, "I feel this." They might have some anxiety when you make certain statements.
Yeah,
they might.
And that was what I didn't want.
Sad, like 5 minutes after you make the statement, but it's hard for them to tie it back to, "I'm feeling this way because I'm feeling a bit judged. I'm feeling a bit." Put down by such and so person. So you can't always count on someone to report.
Yes, and then they start feeling very uncomfortable, and it's like they're walking on eggshells.
Yes. Can I share a personal experience? So I was in a situation where I think I found out much later that I was being controlled or like conditioned to suit somebody's agenda or situation or whatever.
How did you come to that realization?
It took a while because there was a lot of things. There were too many things going on in my life at that point.
Yeah.
Then it just came, like the way it came, and all the clouds just lifted that, okay, so this is what happened. This is what happened then. This is what happened. This is why this happened. This is what this person meant when they did this. Now, like one night, you just sit down and realize that day, I actually like sat down and made lists of things that were going on. And when I now feel, I said, whoa, okay, I need to get the fuck out of this place. Okay.
Yeah. Was the person intentionally controlling you?
Intentional. And another thing with control freaks, is the moments they notice that, okay, this person is waking up, they start freaking the fuck out.
Yes, because they're losing
They start, once they notice that, they're losing control.
Shout out to all the Leos.
Bruh.
Why are you moving mad?
They start moving mad, and then when you now try to confront them, and of course, there are some people that when I'm a very observant person, and I know if I tell you something, I know what your reaction will be because I know who you are. So if I now want to confront you, and I know your reaction is that you are going to gaslight me, what am I supposed to do?
You have triggered me as you said this gaslighting. You have triggered me as you said this gaslighting.
Yeah, because then you start questioning yourself.
Because gaslighting is one of the favorite tools
of control.
Of an abuser or oppressor. Because it is a way that when they see you coming out of the fog, they can add some more fog.
Yeah, to put you back in.
Yeah, so that
and then you're just
deeper.
Thought you were coming out, okay.
Is why did you tell me that you didn't like what I was wearing that time? I just feel like you're a bit, feelings. What you said was a bit offensive about my outfit and da 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 da. But babe, I love you and I don't like seeing people. That time we went somewhere, that guy was looking at you and da 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 da. It's like,
you now be like,
and then sometimes you
overreact.
They'll not even say, but babe, I didn't say I don't like the outfit. I just said, are you going to wear that? What's the meaning of are you going to wear that?
Yeah. And then sometimes you need somebody else to even point
out
you
need to
that you're being
need to have conversations with other people.
A lot of times when you're being controlled, you get so soaked into it that you don't even know that you're being controlled.
Should I put myself on blast?
Do it, girl. Do it.
Do it. Don't worry. Let them catch their soul.
Let me put myself on blast. So this is when you just said that thing about when you're being controlled, you don't realize.
Yeah.
Let me now tell you one problematic thing that I have done to myself in the past. Is being controlled, realizing that someone is trying to control me, but somehow internalizing that the reason that they feel the need to be controlling is because maybe I'm not making them feel comfortable.
Or maybe they want you to be better.
Or that I'm not really going anywhere and they don't need to be so controlling. Or maybe if I could just calm down a bit so it's not as if I'm so loud and I'm so this and what. Little do I know that is even part of what they are trying to do to me.
Those are the weapons they're trying to. They're making you think against yourself.
So that's why sometimes it's good to have people around you that can actually tell you that this is not who you are or this is wrong. Like, pay attention to this. It's the little things, and before you know it, it becomes something big, and then that becomes who you are. So it's also good to have people around you that can tell you stuff like that.
One best friend is enough, right?
Yes, one best friend is just one good best friend.
One very good best friend.
One very good best friend is enough to put you back in your fucking
question.
Talking about
your good best friend comes to you and says, "My brother, my G, this person you're with is moving a bit mad."
Exactly.
He's moving a bit mad. What are you doing here? Open your eyes, loud and see what's going on. And then you say, Nah.
You're trying to come in.
You're just jealous.
Oh my God.
You're trying to come in. You don't want to see me happy. Me and you used to be single club.
That person has succeeded.
That's elevated. So what do you do as the best friend now?
You know my message to that best friend? Run.
No, but wait, there's a reason why that person is called best friend. And I feel like, for you to call someone your best friend, you really know.
You know that person will be there for you no matter what.
Like people are so stuck in their ways, right? Like the way you said, you're so clouded by your judgment, by your own judgment of yourself, that you don't even realize what is going on around you. So for someone that you trust so much to come and say that, first of all, for you to even say that to your best friend, do you really trust that person to feel like they'll be jealous of your relationship? Is that person really best friend to you?
Exactly.
But he said something there. He said that's how you know they've succeeded. Because sometimes that person speaking is a mouthpiece. They are now saying what they're saying is a reflection of how they've been conditioned to feel about that relationship that they're in. He's told you, he said, you shouldn't really be hanging out with your single friends too much like that.
Exactly.
He said your single friends, they're different. They don't understand what
they usually start like that. So when your friend tells you something, it's like you go back to what he told me this.
Yeah, and then when the friend comes, you're like, okay. And he said you're going to try and break us up. What?
Yeah.
And he said, but it's because that's controlling. See, let me tell you, people who are controlling,
they're not stupid people.
They are very intelligent.
They're not stupid people. Hey, God. They're not dumb.
It's just that they're playing with you. They've aligned, they've orchestrated. Do you know somebody can be so controlling with you and you will realize, you think you're in the most loving relationship you've ever had in your life. Should I?
usually even starts with them pretending to be
The way
jealous.
you're holding yourself, the same way I'm holding myself. Trust me.
Please
Trust
hold
me.
yourselves there.
No names will come out.
This guy
I don't call you.
This guy was in a different country, on a different continent.
Wow.
And he wanted to know where I was at 3 a.m.
Okay.
Is your father moving?
He wants to make sure I'm safe.
Oh.
And
No, but
so when you get home, call me.
no,
I said,
but
when I
if
get
it
home,
act-
I can text you.
Yeah.
No, call me.
The Chris.
And it's almost like that's it. When do you start identifying the lines between he cares about me
But what if
and
he
he's
really
being
does?
controlling? I don't know. I feel like, yeah, in some cases they might.
Yeah, what if he really
Yeah.
But I don't even think
That's
they're
why you
mutually
have to-
exclusive. I think sometimes people can really care about you and also be controlling.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Irrespective of what else is going on, is identifying those unhealthy behaviors.
Exactly. So that like there's
And
no
talking
one,
about it.
There's no one solution fits all.
Yeah.
Because there are different levels of this control.
Yeah, different
But
scenarios.
then it's up to you now to always identify whether even you are the person that's controlling another person.
Yeah.
Do you understand? To identify, like, look back, or like, am I moving mad? Like, can we back and forth a little bit in this relationship? And come, is there something that you're unhappy about? Is there something I'm doing to you that you don't really like? But not in a confronting way. Like I said,
Yeah.
like you need to make it feel like a safe space to talk about it. Like, babe, can I be 100 with you? And I say yes. Or like, promise me that anything I say in this safe space, or like when I'm holding this Bible, like we designate the Bible, right?
Yeah.
I say when I'm holding this Bible, you are not allowed
You
to
can't-
be mad.
yeah,
You're
or
not allowed
judge
to do
me,
anything.
or- yeah.
You're not allowed to judge me. Like find creative ways to make safe
Safe
spaces
spaces.
so you can conversate and get
Yeah,
things sorted
but
out.
that brings us back to if there's anything like good control, because so I went to a Christian school, and there are a couple of things that we're not allowed to do. Now, that personally, I believe it helped me. A lot of people would not say the same. A lot of people would have said that level of control made them, affected them badly. But I feel like it helped me positively, because I would have been, I don't know, but it was
You don't
control.
know.
She said it for that.
It was that's not what I said, but I would have turned out very different. So I feel like it's also
Would
knowing.
you credit that the school or the environment?
In some parts.
The control did different things to different people.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I think it's fundamentally finding out who you are. If you know who you are, you can do with whatever people do. You can make it whatever you want to. So that really, I can't particularly say that it was a good thing or it was a bad thing in general, because it affected a lot of
Okay,
people.
but for you-
But for me, it was good control.
So do you know what that's making me think of? That's
Okay.
making me think of the fact that context is key.
True.
Yeah.
True.
The way a principal or a headmaster, mistress, teacher
Yeah.
is going to call a young student and say to them, this is what you should do, you shouldn't do this, why do you do that, whatever. That's within the context of a school
Yeah.
and adults dealing with children and helping
Yeah.
them in terms of discipline. If you are my
Oh my God.
or my boyfriend and you come and talk to me like headmaster,
Do you understand?
there's problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why I think in a lot of controlling situations, once you start to have the idea that someone is being patronizing, or you start to think to yourself, does this man think I'm his child? Does
Yeah.
this woman think I'm their
Yeah,
child?
once that thought
Once you
is
start having
there,
that internal dialogue,
Then it's time to have that meeting.
then it's time
Yeah.
to carry Bible.
I know
It's time to carry Bible.
Carry the
Carry Bible,
Talk about it.
And that's quite interesting, because you've touched on something there. You touched on school and adults and children and that context.
yeah.
I would like to shift this
You are
table.
going with
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
Okay,
go.
shift that
Break it.
Let's go.
Some people we love may be on this table.
Let's have it.
Can we talk about controlling in the context of our relationships with our parents?
Oh.
Gang.
That's
Ooh.
Especially now that we are grown up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's deep.
I feel that a lot of Nigerian parents, they start off discipline, and we can have a whole different conversation around how they raise
Yeah.
also and discipline, because there are lots of things that people class as discipline that I class as child abuse.
Yeah.
But let's
It
not
is child abuse.
let's not
Yes.
go there.
Let's have it.
Yes.
Okay. So they start off in this space where there's a lot of discipline. They are the beginning and the end, the alpha and omega of our lives.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they control every aspect.
Yeah.
And then we grow up and we become adults, yeah? And some of them don't realize when that shift happens. And even as adults, they still want to be doing alpha and omega.
And then they start saying that you're rebellious. Then you become rebellious, or you've changed and stuff. But you know, back to what I was saying, different people, different experiences. So I love my parents a lot, but no buts. I love them a lot. I love my parents, and that's that.
Yeah.
They were very. I don't even know if there's an opposite of controlling. They're very liberal. It's strange, but
Nigerian parents.
yes, they are very liberal. Okay. And then, well, I kind of developed some bad habits because there was
because of that.
Yes, you know, like there were a couple of.
But what are you calling a bad habit? Because there are certain things that we would call bad habits in the context of a Nigerian society that elsewhere they will say is a child just.
Okay, I had to intentionally learn to clean up. Do you understand? Because growing up, I wasn't really cleaning. Do you understand? And then now that we're growing, they go on and about how you're not cleaning, and I'm like when I was young, I wasn't cleaning. Do you understand? Like somewhere in my head, and then a lot of discipline, even personal discipline. So I go like a lot of times I'm late to events, and that's because I did not grow up with that culture of being disciplined, of sticking to time, or you know, the fact that I know that if this isn't done, so
I think I get your point, and like I feel like discipline is discipline.
So we have to know what cuts the line. Discipline and control. Yes.
I think discipline is, in my mind, discipline is discipline, and somebody is saying, we want you to develop this set of positive habits.
And explain to them why you need to have these habits.
Future,
exactly.
And in order to have, I don't know, a successful life or a balanced life or whatever. When I'm even thinking controlling in the aspect of parents, I'm thinking, for example, now, you're grown. You're a whole grown ass. In fact, you can be somebody's mother yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You can be somebody's father yourself.
Yeah.
And yet your parents maybe still feel like you should do things for no other reason than the fact that they told you to do it.
Yeah. I have a friend that says it's see finish, probably because you're taking money from them or you're living in their house. Do you understand? It's mostly because you're...
So...
Or is it like as menial as like, okay, going out at night or don't go past 11 or like, don't pursue this career choice because I said so?
It's all of it.
All of it.
It's all of it. It's thinking that is not respecting your agency as an adult to make decisions for yourself.
You know what? I think this is very funny because like right here, right now, we have somebody that's like,
oh my God,
that's in the thick and thin, you know?
Where do I even start?
That has gone through this scenario.
Where do I start?
I want him to unpack.
Okay.
What the reaction
first of all,
okay, ask me questions. I'll let you know.
Would you refer to your parents as being controlling?
Until a while ago, yes.
Until a while ago, yes.
Yes.
And what did that look like for you in the context of your life and your personal experiences?
I had to leave my house for like a year.
I don't understand.
I said I left.
Like you packed your things and you said
I did.
it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think it was from a place of care or pride, or because they saw you a certain way, they wanted to maintain a certain what's the word?
Image.
A certain image
of
you and how you reflect on them. So do you think they were doing it out of care, concern for you, or for them?
I think it was both. Because of course they genuinely love me. They care about me. But on the other hand, they were also trying to like, okay, when I dyed my hair for the first time in
imagine I dyed my hair.
2017 or so. What's 2017? 2018, yeah, I dyed my hair.
Devilish child.
From then, they said,
you can't do this.
Anytime I was stepping out of this house, as we're going this way, go this way. Sometimes when I'm dressing up on Sunday morning, people that were like, Sunday morning, everybody gets in the car, we're going to church. Yeah. When they see me dressing up, they say, what are you doing? I say, I'm going to church. They say, don't come to church.
But
wait, hold on.
They don't want to be seen with me in that state because my hair is dyed.
I have this question for you.
Yeah.
I have this question for you. So remember when we started and we were talking about passive control? So does it make sense to say that you're living in my house and this is
to abide by my rules?
Exactly. Yeah. And I really do not want you dyeing your hair. So if you're going to stay in my house.
It's more than that.
Like if I was living in my own house and I still came to church with you guys, are you telling me that they will accept me then? No. They will still
avoid They will still say,
avoid me.
They'll still do that.
Because they have an image of how you should be. And they cannot accept any other
standard.
Yes. But you know, you can't even really blame them because it's still conditioning. It's how...
yes, conditioning. At the end of the day, it's conditioning.
They might not even see you. So my dad, I have a brother, and then I braided his hair one time. And then my dad came back and he was, this is for parents that I thought are not controlling. And then he was yelling about how people are going to see him, people are going to, and it was even during NTAS, and they were like, just shoot on sight, and he was going, and I was like, is it really about the people or about you? Do you understand? So it's also something you have to know. Are they trying to protect you from what the world would do to you?
I think that's where it stems from, though. I think that's where it stems from. When you bring a baby into life, right? You want to do everything within your possible power to protect that child from the world, because you know how horrible the world is. And I think that kind of, it really grew like in a bad way, like a weed, so to speak. In this older, like our parents' generation, it really grew like weeds. Do you understand? You know how they grow ruthlessly and you just can't uproot them. So it grew like that in their own generation, because my dad was talking, we were having a conversation, right? And he was talking about how, our generation is like wayward and like we do anything, blah, blah, blah. And like we didn't do all of this like in our time. Like we're friendly with each other. Like everything was calm. Like my friends can come from their house, they'll come to my house and we'll walk to school together. Like I said, look, you know what, let me ask you a question, that like, was there, like, did you have fences around? It was like, fences here. It was like, no, we didn't have fences. And I was like, can you just think of maybe any other country that's doing well, that that they live in, separated blocks of flats? No, not even blocks of flats, like individual separated houses. Can you just tell me any one of those progressive countries that do that? Yes, they are gated communities, maybe like for the high-end people, celebrities, VIPs, for obvious reasons. But then, within themselves, they don't live within like individual compounds. There's a sense of community, there's a sense of togetherness, which you people had. And like me, in my generation, I was not allowed to leave my gate. I was not allowed to leave my compound. Do you understand? So you boxing me in from the world has made us think of so many wild things, because even my next door neighbor, I didn't know him, right? So I was like,
that's insane.
Do you know what? My dad would always say, okay, don't talk to this person, don't talk to this person. So in my head as a child, your imagination
just
runs wild.
Paranoid, and then
so
you're
like,
scared of everybody and everything.
Killer. This guy's probably holding. Like you watch movies and then you start imagining things because you're not experiencing for yourself. You can only live in your head. You can't live from your gate. So like, you want to control us to the point where we are locked in a room, and you expect us now, when we are released, not to try everything that we can find.
Exactly. That is another thing.
That's another thing. Do you feel like that's why you did the things you did? Do you feel like because you had been controlled for so long, and then you got an opportunity where it was like, okay, I can exercise some freedom now, and here are the things I want to do. I want to dye my hair, I want to do. Where did that come from?
That just came from trying to improve on my image as an artist. So like, I went to, from my young age, I was kind of protected. I didn't enter down full to like uni.
Shielded.
Yeah, I was shielded. So when I entered uni, I went to Unilag, and you know how Unilag is, open as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
This is a lot.
Wow, okay.
Overwhelming.
Then I now noticed that, okay, this school thing, this is not what I want to do. I was told this is what I should do from secondary school. Go and do engineering, so I entered science tech. So from there, engineering, okay, this actually I can make beat though. I'm not too bad at this beat thing. I can sing too. I can perform too. I don't look bad on camera. Like everything just like do you get? Like I started feeling myself. Then you start selling you sell your first beats. You get your first paycheck from a show. Like, bro.
Like, what's the point?
What's the point? Do you get? But I won't say it was because I was finally free. At the end of the day, it comes to discovering yourself.
Yeah.
And if you are giving room to discover yourself, you will discover yourself, and your path will definitely fall out. There's no way about it.
So because I want to understand, obviously we started somewhere where you said you got to a point where you're like, I'm about to pack my shit and I'm out of here. How did you get there?
It was,
and how did they take it?
Where do we even start?
We have time.
Okay, so
From the beginning.
like I said, I started going to studio, recording and stuff. Then I was in school. I was beginning to struggle. I wouldn't say it's not because of music that I was struggling in school. In secondary school, I was a genius, bro. Everybody knows that.
Testify to that.
I was a genius, like A stars A, lowest B, then maybe F in Yoruba. So
Come here and say, oh,
because I was shielded, I did not speak until it was like 2 years ago that I started
I don't
learning
think it's
Yoruba.
about the shielding there, but carry
No,
on.
I didn't. Everybody spoke English to me. I didn't interact with people like that. So yeah. So at the point I said, you know what, this school thing, I'm out. Like I actually tried to say, okay, see, let me change my department. Let me change my faculty. I don't want to do this anymore. And they were like, no, you're going to be an engineer. This one, that one. I said,
But did you explain to them why you?
I did. Sometimes that year one, my result was good.
By explanation, you explain to them, and they're just stuck in.
They're just stuck in their ways. Do you get? Okay.
engineers.
No.
But they have a projection.
They have a projection, yeah. See,
They're saying
at the
they
point, when
pick up that
after I even left, my mom was trying to push medicine. I'm like, you saw me leaving engineering. It's medicine you want to push me inside. Okay. Okay now. So I got out, then I started doing the thing, then I now finally communicated to them that almost see, I don't leave school. I don't go. That one has gone. The fight we fought for a long.
Communicated.
Oh God, I wrote jam twice after leaving school.
What?
Yeah, the last one I wrote, I even got 380 something.
Wow.
I'm a genius. So
That's high.
yeah, I'm without reading, I got 380 something.
Yeah.
So like I'm still telling you that all this one you're doing. It's not that I'm stupid. I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
If I even told them that, see, the only thing that's hindering me right now is because of your reaction to what I'm doing.
Wow.
I told them straight up that, see, the only thing that is, I would have gone a lot further than this in my career.
They are counting for that.
But because you are doing everything in your, see, the person that taught me how to drive, the driving school I went to, I was walking past driving school one day. He called me and said, was telling me about my own story. That's how bad it was.
So they were telling
They were just telling them, that's...
Okay.
Yeah, like...
That's what makes it work.
So after all those things started piling up, and I said, you know what? Is it because I'm still here? Oh,
Fuck it.
bye.
And that was it.
And that was it. Then I left. Then call.
Nice one, man. I
Like,
I think
then
it's just
that's what I'm talking about.
then after some time, then I now went back home when lockdown started.
Oh, this was recent.
I left school in 2016.
wow.
So you guys have been fighting
Yeah.
since 2016
Yeah.
till date.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then lockdown came. Then when everybody had a very shitty year, but me, bro.
There was something else.
The money I made this year, bro. I can't even front.
Pounds and dollars.
It's a good thing that I'm sitting beside you.
So, so when money starts to enter, it will show.
Yeah.
And when they now start saying, okay, now calm down, okay, actually, still try to go back to school, but continue.
But I believe theirs is primarily from consent, but not handled well. And because they already have this image of what they want you to be, they don't want to see you doing another thing. They don't want to. And then I believe that it's a good thing that we're speaking about it, because this is how they get to hear that your child can be successful and not be exactly what you want them to be. Yeah, they can succeed in something different from your idea.
I look at it like this, right? I look at it like one day somebody even just told me, like, why are we all sitting down for the same exams, same tests, same everything? When in real life, in actuality,
we are all different.
Right? You cannot judge a fish based on its ability to climb a tree.
Exactly.
It will always fail.
Yeah.
It will never ever work out. So why do you now group everybody just because we have 2 eyes, 1 nose, and 1 mouth? It's like the same set of people. We're all very different in our own, beings. So it's very necessary. I think the school system that we have is very archaic. Like it should be abolished.
Yeah.
It doesn't help anybody in life. Like whatever you go into school with is not what real life to teach you. Like you learn about life while learning about life. That's what happens.
Living life.
Exactly,
Yeah.
living life. That's how you know about life. So like this whole idea of school, you must get this degree. Some people are so accustomed to it now. Like, do you? That's on you. Do you understand? But if you do not want that, and if you know that's not for you, because no matter how you try, it's not.
But guys, is it weird? Is it weird? I'm not. I don't think I'm a controlling person, but. And funny thing is, I mean, I'm a businesswoman, but I went to med school. But somehow in my head...
Talk your shit, dog. Talk your shit. Hey!
Okay,
in the back.
Hold on, please. That's not the point. But somewhere in my head, I feel like I have been conditioned. I don't even know if it's a conditioning, but I really do want my kids to go to school. And I really do want them to have a degree. Like, I feel like I can let you do any other thing you want.
Boy,
but just do it. Do you understand? And so I don't want to say that I can understand when parents do that. Like, my parents didn't really have an issue with me not practicing as long as I had that license. And whatever happens, you can fall back to it. So I feel like that's what they want. Except it be bad reach that, you know. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
It's
no
not,
matter how hard you try, sometimes your mind is just not there.
Yeah. Except then. Yeah. Except then, but if it won't cost you a lot of things, if it's something that you can do.
Don't get me wrong, degrees are very, very important too. Like me, I'm still going back. See, my own fight. You
want to chase your passion.
Yeah, it's not even about my own passion. Like music is just half of my talent too.
Talk your talk,
bro. There are too many things. My head is big.
Talk your talk.
Yes. There are still so many things I want to do. My own is, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I know what I want to do. If you don't know what I want to, fine. Like leave me. Let me tell you what I want to do. But you don't want to listen. Let me. Stop trying to control me.
Make your own mistakes.
At the end of the day,
And it does also feel a bit insulting because it's now also like, is it that you don't trust that I know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Or is it that you don't trust that I can make decisions for myself? You know?
You kind of always do, right? You kind of always look at your kid as a kid, no matter how grown they are. Like, if your kid is 50-something, you still see him as my child.
No, but do you know the number of times I've said to, like, my parents that just because I am your child does not mean I am a child.
Yeah.
Yes, that's quite all right, right? So you can be their child, but even though you're not a child, you're their child, right? So some parents can't really blur the line between, okay, he's a grown-up now, and, I used to change his nappy like how many weeks ago. That's what they see in their head. Do you understand? So like it takes a different level of parenting to show up in you, to say that, look, I understand that this person is knowledgeable, like as should be right now at this age, or even more knowledgeable than I am, right? For him to even make decisions on my behalf or make decisions that's okay for them. And they won't necessarily see it until you kind of stand on your feet.
Yeah.
That usually doesn't come out until you can stand on your feet. I know my parents like always wanted me to go to medical school and become a doctor, blah blah blah, do the works. And like, to be honest, I was okay with it. I was fine because I really like medicine, and because my dad was in that space, right? So it kind of inspired me to go ahead and do that. But then I went to medical school, and then unplanned, unprovoked, I just realized that I love doing comedy. I love acting. I love doing all of that. So I just let me just do it as a side, as a hustle. So I didn't even see it as something that would ever blow. Like, I didn't create a marketing plan. I was just doing what I love. And
I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just enjoy it, and it just came out. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. I can make money from this. Why do I need to be in a hospital when I won't be as happy as how I am now? Do you understand? And I never even had a conversation with him like, look, I'm going to switch or anything. Yeah. I was like, just do it. Like,
you just try to juggle both.
Yeah, I was like, figure it out for yourself first, so you can be confident in what you're saying. Yeah. And one day, like I think it was like 2015 or so, I just came down. I just came to Nigeria. Like, they didn't know, they had no idea. Like, left to them, I would have been there like for the full 6 years, because like, okay, money's tight now, and we can't do this, and I can't be asking because like tickets are ridiculous. And then I just come home one day and like, how did you get here? Somebody like flew me down for a show and they paid me. That was like a whole conversation. Like, what are you like? Explain to me what you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They couldn't believe it. Yeah. So, but after that, they realized that okay, this boy's head is in tune with what he's doing. He's still in school. He still knows what he wants to do. Then let the boy be. Yeah. It's not that hard. Do you understand?
Yeah. So we've talked about controlling from like the perspective of like romantic.
So many. We've talked about.
We've talked about
parents. We've talked about schools.
There's something I want to touch on briefly.
Yeah.
Controlling dynamics in the context of just a friendship. And again, to put myself on blast.
As always.
Go there.
It's not the best attitude and the best response, but I have this thing in me because obviously I'm quite independent. I don't like to be controlled at all. I have like an allergic reaction. So I found that like, especially with friendships and with people that maybe they're not like family members or they're not significant others where it's like, this relationship or where we die here. When it's a friendship, I find that sometimes, and it might not be the best way, I just naturally slip into I'm about to cut you off. Because I ain't got time for this. Like, I don't have time for this shit.
This friendship level, I think it's fine.
Is that really the best way to deal with that?
For you, yes. Because your mental health is top priority above everything.
And don't get me wrong, it's not like if I'll just, they just did one small controlling thing, bye.
No,
it's like they did
compounding
this.
effect.
At first, I will even maybe ignore it, not really. They will now do this, I will not give them hints of,
You just have to draw the line.
So like people that, like I've had friends where they don't like the fact that I'm friends with them and like friends with
some other person.
I've had friends where they will introduce me to their own friends, and then all of a sudden, me and that friend become.
You hit it off, and then you'll be like, "Why are you talking to my guy?"
They get upset.
And they get upset.
That's controlling.
I've even had somebody fake a serious medical issue because
to get your attention.
The person didn't like the fact that me and their friends were getting on. The person was doing
serious?
like, I can't even explain this to you. The person was doing as if there was about to be a
mental breakdown.
Like we're going to end up in emergency room. And obviously it's to manipulate the situation, is to break that thing that is happening. And when I meet people like that and I realize that that's what you're on, I can't lie, I kind of cut you off.
Like, just as long as you're fine.
I kind of cut you off. So I don't know if you guys have had any similar experiences or if you think there's a different way to like manage that situation.
Well, with friendships for me, I'm not even very quick to make friends. I'm very...
She said you should be feeling privileged.
Privileged be your guy.
Do you understand?
The thing is, I don't get easily attached to people. It's not even a good thing. It's a bad habit. Like, it's not easy for me to reach out. Like, if I'm constantly calling you, you're going to be like, oh, this babe really loves me. Do you understand? So,
shout out to your best friends. They're keeping
so there's not, but it's something that I'm learning to do better at. But the point is, I don't even give you that space where you feel like you can control me. Do you understand? I didn't have parents control me. So I grew up liberal.
So I hear that, but let me just say one thing about that. That is important for people to understand that when you say that, this is not to say that if someone is controlling towards someone else, that they have been given the permission.
No.
Or that they have been encouraged. Or the person should have done something so as to avoid
There's no way it's your fault. If somebody's controlling, there's no way. There's no way it's your fault. Regardless of how it happens, a controlling person is a controlling person. And it's not your fault. Why? So it's not even like a permission thing. You can't give someone permission to control you or not. It's just we're not even that close where you have that kind of access to me, to try and
access. That's key.
That's another thing. Once you notice that someone has too much access to you, I'm gonna flee.
They will abuse their access.
That's it.
And I think that's where my cutting off comes from, because it's like, I'm feeling limited access.
And then we also have to talk about, when you. So I think first the things people need to check. You need to check if you're a controlling person. Sometimes you really have to dig deep. If you're a good person, you will know if you're controlling.
Only good people will care about if they are controlling.
I think, do you know,
controlling people are not always good.
I don't
think you can.
But I think I've had moments in which I was being controlling.
But you're not a controlling person.
But do you know how I identified it? How I tend to identify it is, because obviously you're you sometimes and you're desensitized to the way you move. How I identify it is being observant of people's reactions.
Exactly.
So I may say something, and then I see that somebody feels maybe frightened or nervous. And then I think, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said it that way. Or maybe I'm pushing too hard. Or maybe I'm putting too much pressure. Like, it's that thing about being emotionally intelligent enough to observe how people respond.
Exactly. And some people are so vile that they actually enjoy controlling people.
And watching that negative response and reaction.
Exactly. When those people start being afraid of them, they kind of enjoy. It irritates me when people even... So I have younger siblings, and then I have a sister that I feel like she lets me, I don't want to say control her, and it pisses me off. Like, I'm doing it to you, but don't let me do this to you. Do you understand? Like, you're helping me with something and I'm complaining. Like, pull me off immediately.
Call me out of my
do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you get? Don't sit with it. And so I feel like.
So are you doing that to low-key, quote-unquote, training her?
No, see, so this is why back to what we're saying. Sometimes you don't even know. Sometimes you don't even know. Do you understand? And then when I start noticing it, I'm like, why am I? Okay, this is what is happening. But then I also get, because she's my sister and because I care about her, I'm like, don't let me do this to you. Do you understand? So like.
So are you saying it's okay if someone else, you did it to someone else and the person?
No, I'm saying if it was somebody else that I did it to and I realized that I'm controlling this person, I just stop. But because it's my sister, it doesn't stop at me stopping myself. Yeah. I have to let her know that this is what happened and you shouldn't let somebody else do this to you, and you should be able to speak up in situations like that. So it's internally identifying that, am I a controlling person? Yeah. I feel like if you put in the effort, you can actually know. And it might be from a good place. It's not always like from a bad place. Yeah. Yes. It could be from a good place. And then also, what do you do when you find out that you're being controlled and you can't exactly leave that relationship? Because in a lot of marriages, a lot of women, a lot of women are being controlled. Even women that claim to be independent and claim to be liberal, they are being controlled. Like even me with my parents, as much as I see some things.
You still notice?
Yes, and I'm like, are you gonna let him do that? Like you're just going to let that slide? Yeah. Do you understand? And
you have to understand that our parents, right? Our parents' generation, they have been conditioned so much to understand that the husband is the
So where does that come? Because I wanted to touch on that. Where does that come from? Where it is so easy for men in our society to slip into
the head position,
and almost a given stage of it is okay for you to control because it's part of being a man, telling her what to do, telling her how to do, leading and controlling.
And the funny thing is, some women even like being controlled.
Yeah, that's exactly.
No, they have also been conditioned to be.
Yeah, they have been conditioned.
They like being controlled, or they have been conditioned to believe that that is a healthy relationship and somebody loves you, and therefore they think they enjoy it because that is the dynamic that says.
I think they've been conditioned to that point where they can't even realize, they can't even like feel almost. Is it? I want to go like sexual itself because it gets to that point. Like some girls are not attracted to a guy that is not in that, alpha male. I want him to like do this and do that and like tell me what to do. And,
and that's why some ladies want to.
I met girls like that. They say like, I want you to put me in my place. I'm like,
do you understand?
Like, are you a shoe that needs to be in this box?
This is some serious.
I think even that thing like alpha male. Like, what is an alpha male?
And that's why a couple of an alpha male is
like, what is that? Like, is it just a leader, someone who has good leadership qualities?
That's basically what it is.
Because in my mind, I think that's what it is.
But can you?
It's been almost twisted and warped into this thing of the loudest man in the room is the alpha male. The pushiest man in the room. I had someone once say to her,
you've been through things.
This man said to me, he said, I'm an alpha male.
Okay.
And when I say that, I don't just mean it the way other people say it. I've actually studied the psychology behind being an alpha.
Sorry.
Come on, my God.
He told me, he said, do you know that it takes a different type of skill to discuss with a CEO than it does to discuss with a cleaner? This was him defining his alpha maleism to me. And I was supposed to be attracted to that.
But you'll be surprised that some ladies will be.
I know.
Yeah,
but it's like, bro, that's not what I think of when I think of an alpha male. It's like the whole narrative of girls like bad boys. It's not that girls like bad boys. Well, not all girls like bad boys. Let me say that.
And it's still a conditioning.
It's conditioning.
What is
I think sometimes there is a blurring of lines between a man who is confident, well-spoken, exposed, educated enough to, stand his ground in a conversation or a debate or whatever. And people kind of almost bastardize that. They think, it's the same thing as just being a bad boy in the terms of like toxic masculinity, and that you're confident doesn't mean you need to be arrogant.
There's a very thin line.
To being safe. They feel like this guy
can protect.
But do you know somebody can go to war for you and be confident and be a supporter
and not control you
without being a bastard? Do you know?
She said so.
Somebody can be a man that is a protector, that when he's in the house you feel safe. He helps you to, I don't know, whatever manly thing that you might feel that you need or whatever. But at the same time, he respects you. He has empathy. He has consideration. He doesn't talk to you anyhow. His confidence is confidence, not arrogance. Recently, in fact, a few days ago, a man said to me, confidence and arrogance are two different sides of the same coin.
Whoa.
He said, what's really the difference?
There's a lot of difference.
You know? So it's about understanding those things. I know in movies and in lots of like fantasy narratives, they might have twisted it, say, you know, the bad boy versus the nice, quiet, good boy. And
they need to stop making those kind of movies.
Exactly. Those are not the only two options, you know? You can have somebody that is nice and quiet, but if something pops off and you need him to be there, and he can do that too. Range, boo.
That's right. Talk your shit.
You know, so there's that as well. So yes, I like a confident man. Yeah. I like a not somebody that is going to be talking to me anyhow, but somebody that is eloquent enough to speak and to be, you know, active in an engaging conversation. Does not mean that he'll be shouting and be speaking without backing up what he's saying. And you know, there's a spectrum. Yeah. It's not one or the other. There's a mix of traits. It's not one size fits all.
It's not. Some guys bring that to the table. Actually, they take that everywhere they go because they feel like a girl loves this kind of guy.
So that means all girls.
All girls. Yeah. I think that if you're not smart enough to discern how a woman reacts to you, or you're not smart enough to discern what a woman likes from how you've interacted with her, then you shouldn't even be calling yourself an alpha male because you're not a smart guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can't even be an alpha male if you don't respect women.
Because how can you lead if you can't observe and understand who you're leading?
Yeah.
You know? And even that lead self, understand that just because you have good leadership qualities does not mean that you're the class prefect of this relationship.
Tell them.
Do you understand? It's not the one that you
Oh
my gosh.
So yeah, this has been an amazing conversation, right?
Honestly,
I've enjoyed every single
video.
And I've learned so much too.
Yeah.
So I hope a lot of people like listening out there like can take like a bit of, you know, some of the pointers we gave out to understand that it's not a one size fits all. Like different relationships are different. You know, heading into a relationship, you need to understand yourself first, understand who you are and the kind of things that you like, so you can identify what you don't like when you go into a situation like that. And like niggas, girls, please don't be controlling AF. It's just not sexy.
What do you mean by girls?
Girls.
Oh, I heard just girls.
No, I said niggas,
girls, don't be.
Let's be balanced.
There's a balance. Yeah, so we want to thank you guys for coming.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having us.
I you guys on the show. We pray you come back. But it's going to be back.
Don't worry about it.
Amazing. You've enjoyed it?
Don't worry about it.
It was very enlightening.
So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We're out.
Yeah, and thanks everyone for listening. Thank you for watching, and we hope you've enjoyed this. Please let us know what you think about this episode, and we'll see you on the next episode. We out. Peace.
Don't f with me.
You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Don't F With Me Pod.
Don't hug the couch, my friend.
No, for
Move
you.
over.
Okay.
So we're also on all major podcast platforms. So find us there, and you can see the links to our YouTube. So subscribe, right?
Yeah. Should we tell them where to find us individually as well? Because I don't want to be with you all the time, you understand? On my own thing. All right, so if you're looking for me, you can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Chubby_oddly.
Okay, if you're looking for me, you can find me on Instagram at og.tega, so that's og.tega, and Twitter as @theogtega. Boom.
Are we spelling? Oh, Chubby as in Chubby, and then _ODDLY.
Why do you have to copy me
I just want
all
people
the
to know
time?
that I can spell
like,
too.
Why do you have to
I
be
just
like
want them
me,
to know that
though?
I can spell.
Why do you really have to be like me all the time?
All right, I need to get out of
I
here.
hate you.
Don't